The Turtle Beach Velocity 1 rudders on paper, a feature-packed set of flight sim rudders. But in the real world, do they hold up against some of the other rudder pedals in the market? Now, my thoughts might be a little bit controversial here, so if you disagree, make sure to shout out in the comments, as I'd love to hear what you think. Turtle Beach did send these rudders for review, and like always, they've had absolutely no input in this video. So starting with the price, coming in at $300 US, they do have a lot to live up to. There are various other sets of rudders that I can think of in and around this price range that have set what I would call a high bar. It's worth noting at this point though that these are compatible with PC and Xbox. And this sort of feeds into something we'll discuss further in the video, relating to the value dependent on which platform you're actually using, because it does change things. So the features, as always, Turtle Beach's strong point, and that is absolutely no different here. First thing off the rip is the variable width, and the way that it's just so easy to adjust by pulling on the clamps and opening it up. I'll just demonstrate that for you right now. So you can see these two clamps just underneath the rudder pedals. Push in, slide out, easy as that. And this gives quite a lot of width adjustment, as you just saw there. And it's definitely a highlight and one of the more unique points that I actually really love about these. They have these really sort of large footings on the floor, which makes it good for heel rests, and it's easy to slide your heels along the actual rests, especially in the GA configuration, which I did enjoy. They come with included rubber pads for both hard floors, which is what I've got on here, and ones for carpet, which actually work surprisingly well. Next is the mounting holes. Now, I know what you're thinking, mounting holes ain't a feature. Well, when they're this easy to line up and mount your pedals to your pedal tray or cockpit, then I think it is. The design is fairly open, and these just have been the quickest and easiest mounting pedals I've ever used. An absolutely great design choice. As well as the rudder axis control, you also have your toe brakes, pretty standard in something like this. They have quite a unique feature in that you can actually change them from GA style to a commercial style pedal, literally in a matter of minutes. Compatibility wise, you are talking PC, which is a given, but also Xbox. The only thing you need to know here is that you need to have the Velocity 1 Yoke or the flight stick, as you'll have to route these rudders through the USB-C to your main peripheral as a pass-through and then into your Xbox. I've reviewed both the flight stick and the Yoke previously, and I'll leave the links in the description for both of those. The full travel or the throw is about 130 millimeters back to front. Now I did put the tougher springs in here, just a personal preference. So 130 millimeters of full throw. Now, this compared to the Thrustmaster T-Flights, which are about 50 millimeters, and then the Virpil rudders, which are about 125 millimeters. Look, overall, nothing to shout about, but it's in the right place. You've also got some basic angle adjustment, only really, I would say only relevant to commercial setup, because if you're using the GA style pedals, I reckon you'd probably be having them angled just like this. Talking about the pedals again, the entire brake range measures from the top to the bottom. It's around 60 millimeters. And then there's the spring tension adjustment. All you do here is unscrew this part here at the back with the included Allen screw or Allen key. It comes right out, and then you can install the new heavier or lighter spring. It's really quite simple. And it's now that things, I would say things start to get slightly average, and it's a bit of a mixed bag going forward. At first you'll notice the weight and the solid base, which is a real confidence builder. I mean, when you spend this kind of money, you do want it to feel heavy, and they do. They feel heavy and robust. The plastic exterior is sitting on a metal base or frame, and overall very solid, especially at the mounting points. The plastics used seem to be of good quality. Even up close, there's loads of attention to detail, and that's certainly typical of most Turtle Beach products. The physical size is actually quite large. especially when they're fully opened up. Here they are compared to a set of T-flights. Actually, I forgot to grab them out. Now, please excuse the dust here. So this is them next to a set of T-flights, and it's the best way to do this. I will set these here. So that you can see the difference here. Now, these at the moment, these are pushed all the way in, so if I expand, then you get to see the real sort of difference in the width adjustment. Now, let's get rid of those, and we'll bring up a set of the Virpils just for comparison. And these are a little bit heavier. Okay, let's go out. So now you can see the comparison with the Virpils. Now, pretty comparable, I would say. But again, you've got to take into consideration the adjustable width. So you kind of saw there how wide they can actually get, and the comparison to sort of existing rudder pedals. Now that comparison was just in terms of size. Now things start to take a bit of a turn. In use, the rudders worked right out of the box, which is great, but there's a very slight sticking effect when trying to put fine sort of movements in here, and they're, I would say, fairly noisy. Now, I don't know if this microphone is going to pick that up or not. And talking about that sticking effect, it did reduce by about 50% after, say, 2 or 3 hours use. However, it seems to kind of stabilised now, and there are still signs of it. And just to make sure, I quickly checked out another set of pedals, and it seemed to have, it felt like it had the same issue. The sticking effect isn't, in fact, that big of an issue in itself in the slightest. The problem is that these rudders sit alongside the Virpil VPC Ace Interceptor and the One Wing Orion rudders in price, and the experience you'll get from the rudder and brake axis in both of these other options are, quite simply put, on another level. It's worth noting that there's no such sticking effect on the brake axis though. It's extremely smooth. And the other thing is they feel ever so slightly grainy underfoot, and that's where I think the actual noise is coming from. Now let's be clear, I'm being quite harsh here, but I do think it's for good reason. And again, at this price point, there's some clear competition. To me, the Turtle Beach rudders feel like a higher end version of the Thrustmaster T-flights. They almost sit in between T-flights and the higher end pedals like the Thrustmaster TPRs. And that brings me on nicely to the value. I need to start off with the fact that I just can't recommend these pedals for PC users. Yes, they are full of some neat features, and there are things that I really like about them, and some of those features actually makes them a decent set of rudders. However, and this is important, if you value a smooth rudder axis, I'd recommend going with some of the others mentioned, unless you can get these at a discount, let's say around 200 to 250 bucks. That's US dollars. At that price then, I think they're a great deal. So bearing in everything I've said there, this now changes completely when we talk about Xbox users. And there's one main reason for this, and it's simply options. You just don't have many options on Xbox. You got the T-flights, which, you know, are a great super sort of budget option, or the TPRs, which are amazing high-end rudder pedals, leaving the Velocity One rudders in their own sort of little niche within that pricing bracket. It's like the third time I've done that. In this landscape, the value sort of starts to become more obvious and clear. So if you're an Xbox user, these are a good set of rudders. They're a good step up from the T-flights and still far below the TPR price, which make them a great mid-range pick. So final thoughts. Turtle Beach have attacked the design of these rudders like they do with most of their products, just packing in the features. And in that sense, they've done quite well. If adjustable width and pedal combinations gets you excited and you don't mind putting up with some light stickiness that does sort of dissipate a little over time, and you want something that's dead set simple to install and adjust, then I can recommend them. But if the feel of the main axis is important to you, and I myself fit into this category, then these aren't for you. However, you will need to be prepared to pay a little bit extra when you take into account the delivery cost and potential import taxes, especially with the fact that quite often you'll find like free delivery on a set of these from the likes of Amazon, or you can even pick them up from your local store. If you're an Xbox user, then these do get a solid recommendation as a good mid-range set of rudders. To get anything better, you'd have to spend upwards of $600 US, which is twice the price.